Everyone, Caleb with the Antique Book Collective, and today I'm getting to you guys with something that I just wanted to make a shorter video for, and that is my biggest shipment of the year. So, of course, this is not actually the most money I've made in one shipment or one day of sales on eBay. It's none of that. It's just the largest quantity sale, and in this quantity sale, it was only, I believe it was like 26 books or 23 books, somewhere in there, but it weighed 60 pounds and it took three whole boxes. And these aren't little boxes that we're talking about. These are big, big boxes. So let me just grab one that I got right here of these boxes. Forgive all the movement and noise. So this is one of the boxes that I just got all the sales for. So this was for a, sorry, so much noise, but this was for a cookbook set that I have recently sold. I just shipped it out just a couple days ago, and it was a very large, very heavy set of books. So that makes it my biggest sale of the year so far. I believe it's the only one that's taken 3 boxes to do as well, up until now. I guess I believe the biggest one that I've had for the year is just 2 boxes, and I believe over the past 12 months in total, it has only been like 2 boxes as my largest one. So this really is a really, really big set. It's not the biggest set that I have listed on my store, though, believe it or not. I have I believe it's a Britannica Great Books set. I believe that's what it's called. That is actually the full set, and when I ship those out, that will probably take like 5 of those big, big boxes. So that is actually the biggest set that I have listed on my store, and when that sells, I'm going to be ecstatic to get them out of the way. So with all that said and done, though, I wanted to just go over a couple things with these large sets of books. So this is of course, some tips that a lot of people are going to miss out on because no one's going to want to hear a brag video about my biggest sale of the year. But this is for the people that are the diehard antique booksellers that are following my channel. So this is like a really cool one that probably is just going to appeal to you guys. So with that said and done, when you guys are doing large sets of books like what I do, you will first off have an issue with shipping. So there is a video walkthrough that I have on my channel. I will be linking a card right there. It'll pop up, and you guys can click that. Be sure to hit like Control or Command and then click it, and that should open it in another tab so you guys can watch that next. But when you guys are doing these larger things, you do have to send them in multiple boxes because USPS for media mail, they do have a limit on how large of a box you can have. So if you have a box that's this long to fit the whole set, they're not going to accept that because that's too large for them to actually handle. And on top of that, there is a weight limit that they have. You can do up to 70 pounds with media mail. Personally, as I have said in other videos, I don't recommend doing any boxes that are over, say, 25 pounds. Personally, I try to keep it under 20 just because it's a lot more manageable for a lot more people. And on top of that, it's also more manageable for me because, yeah, I can carry as many books as I want to carry, but sometimes I want to be a little lazy and not carry something that is like a giant box of bricks, which I've actually had someone ask one time when they were picking them up. They're like, what in the world are these bricks? I'm like, nah, just books. They're like, so like bricks? I'm like, yeah, basically. But that is something that you guys do want to pay attention to. You want to check out that thing to show you how to ship out in multiple boxes and also because of weight. So another thing though that I do have to point out for when you are listing these sets of books. So yes, you can make some really good money on a set of books, especially because like some of these sets of books, like if you're selling it individually, it's $10. But if you're selling the whole set, which is say 10 books, that's $100. And listing something for $10 isn't worth your time, but listing a set of books for $100 is worth your time because you do have more profit built in because you're selling multiple. It's the whole bulk profit sort of situation that you got going on there. So that is something that you guys do definitely want to pay attention to when you are listing your books. Is you will want to have a larger set to make more money, but there is the issue of it takes more space. It helps your profits, but that more space is storage space. It's more boxes. It's more handling for you when you're trying to ship it out. There's a lot more work that goes into handling a set of books. So what I like to do is I don't like selling sets of books unless I can get a good profit margin on them. And that's something that you guys definitely want to pay attention to. That's something you should really think about when you are doing huge sets of books is you want to be like, all right, how much money can I make with this set? Is it worth all the extra struggle of carrying around this many boxes? Is it worth this, this, this? You want to keep in mind all the expenses that you have, and on top of that, you want to keep in mind the struggle. Because let's face it, let's see, would you rather drop off a book in a box this big, or would you rather do a huge 50-pound box? For me, I like to do the smaller ones because it's a lot more fun to drop off 10 packages going to a bunch of different people than it is a giant stack of books going to one person. Like, I do have a lot of fun doing those large stacks of books because it is cool to do. But at the end of the day, I usually make more money off those small boxes of books because that is more books, more units, and my profit margin that I build into my books when I am listing them, when I'm buying them, all that sort of stuff, ensures that when I'm actually selling those smaller ones, I actually am making more money book for book than I am with the sets of books. That being said, again, there is the entire cool thing about sets of books is they might only be worth $10 a piece, but in a set, they're worth a whole lot more because you get to have all those books at $10 a piece. Or you might discount that a bit. You might have a little premium, really depending on the book, depending on the market. So you have to pull comps on everything, of course. And with all of that being said, there is something else really cool about sets is sets of books, for me, am able to find so many of them that I can have them be the backbone of my store a lot of the time. So while I may not enjoy it as much all the time, I mean, I do have some that I really do enjoy, but I don't enjoy it as much as the individual ones. But it's nice because I can find sets of books a lot easier than I can find antique books. For me, antique books are like 3 in every 100 books that I go through, and that's at a good sale. At a bad sale, it's like 3 in every 1,000. Whereas a set of books, I can find sets of books everywhere. I can walk across the street and find a set of books if I wanted. So that is something, there's just a lot more of them. And again, when you can find enough of them, it makes it so the profit margin is built in enough that it is worth you taking your time to list. So as I've said in other videos, I like to, when I'm listing my books, all that sort of stuff, I want to be making sure that I'm making like $100 an hour roughly, because I can do a listing in every like 10 minutes roughly. So 10 minutes, so there's 60 minutes in an hour, so I have to make 6 listings, and those 6 listings must make me $100 roughly to be the whole $100 an hour. Generally, a lot of times that's going to be a whole lot more. So for me, as I've said in other videos, I like to have my minimum profit margin be at least $20. Personally, I like to have it so I make at least $30, but let's just say $20. So $20 times 6, so that would be $120 in listings and sales and all that sort of stuff that I could do. So with all that said, when I'm listing sets of books, those usually have a good amount of money built into them. Yes, they might not sell for a lot when they're individually, but when you have all of them, the premium that you can get is a whole lot better, especially when you're buying at a good price. So as I said in the other video about these particular cookbooks, I paid $10 and I sold them for $2.50. I was actually asking $3.80, which would have been an even better profit margin, but I'm not too worried selling it for $2.50 because again, I paid $10. That is 25 times on my money. 25 times on my money is something I like to shoot for usually, and that's what I hit, and that's why I'm really happy about that. So all that said and done, I hope that really inspires you guys, and I'll see you guys in the next one.